My daughter, let me tell you, was quite brilliant in her studies.
I didn't know that. But I'm not surprised. I knew she had plenty of pluck.
Oh, I've had no cause to complain, like so many parents. She's always given us perfect satisfaction.
The credit is all yours, madam. You brought her up properly. The model child is so very rare nowadays.
Oh, how right you are.
Back in my day, children were far more obedient, more attached to their parents. They understood the sacrifices they made, the material problems and difficulties. Though, from another point of view, perhaps it would be best for them not to.
I agree. They were also far more...
Well, they were far more numerous.
Indeed they were. Seems the birth rate's falling in France.
Goes up, goes down. Just now it shows the tendency to rise again. But we can hardly make up for the lean years.
Oh, I should say not indeed. You're certainly right there. Just imagine.
What do you expect? It's not easy to raise a child nowadays.
Oh, indeed it's not. You don't have to tell me that. It's costing more and more to keep alive. Think of all the things they need. What is there they don't want?
What is it all coming to? Today, human life is the only thing that's cheap.
Oh, I do so agree with that. Now that is very true. You're perfectly right there.
We have earthquakes, accidents, cars, and all sorts of other vehicles like the aeroplane, social sickness, voluntary suicide, and the atomic bomb.
Oh, that thing. Here's it's changed the weather for us. We don't know where we are with our seasons now. It's upset everything. And if only that were all. But look, listen, do you know what I've heard people say?
Oh, they say so many things. If you had to believe everything you hear.
Oh, there'd be no end to it. Indeed, there wouldn't. And the papers. There's a pack of lies for you. Lies, all lies.
Take my advice, madam. Trust no one. Believe in nothing. Don't let them fill your head full of rubbish.
Oh, I agree. You're better off without. You really are. You have your head screwed on right. You really have.
Oh, I just use mine. That's all.
You're certainly right there. But you can't say the same of everyone.
Nowadays, madam, you see, with all of our amusements, entertainment and excitement, the cinema, income tax, large gramophone libraries, radio, air travel, telephone, large department stores.
Now you've said it.
The prisons, the grand boulevards, social security, and all of that.
Oh, right you are.
All of these things that make up the charm of modern life have changed men and women. Have changed them to the point that they are unrecognizable.
Not changed them for the better either. Now you've said it.
And yet, we can't deny the progress when we see things progressing every day.
How right you are.
In technology, applied science, mechanics, literature, and art.
Of course. We must be fair. It isn't nice to be unfair.
You could go so far to say that civilization is constantly developing, and in the right direction too, thanks to the united efforts of all the nations.
Perfectly true. I was just about to say the same thing.
My, we've come a long way since the time of our ancestors, living in caves, gobbling each other up and sleeping on sheepskins. My, how far we've come.
Oh, we certainly have. And central heating, monsieur. What about central heating? Did they have that in their caves?
Well, my dear, when I was a child,
Oh, such a pretty age.
I grew up in the country, and then it was still the sun that kept us warm, in the summer as well as the winter. We used to light our homes with oil. It's true, it wasn't so dear in those days, and sometimes even with candles.
Well, that happens even today when the electricity fails.
Well, machines aren't perfect either. After all, they were invented by man and contain all his faults.
Oh, you don't have to talk to me about the faults of man. I know all about that. They're just as bad as women. There's nothing to choose between them.
Yes, exactly. So why ask a man to do a job that even a machine can't do?
I'll admit I'd never thought of that. Yes, when you really think about it, it's Possible after all. Why not?
You see, madam, mankind's future is in the future. Why, it's just the opposite for animals and plants. But we mustn't start to think of the machine as a deus ex machina that is going to take the place of God and progress without the slightest effort on our part. On the contrary, madam.
Oh, I never said.
On the contrary, I say, man is still the best human machine. It's man that controls the machine because he's the mind.
Now you've said it.
Whereas a machine is just a machine, except for the calculating machine, which calculates by itself.
Well, yes, it calculates by itself. What you say is perfectly correct.
That's just the exception that proves the rule. Now look here, we were talking about oil and candles. Back then, an egg would cost you a penny and not a penny more.
Oh, impossible.
Believe it or not.
Oh, it's not that I doubt your word.
You could dine for 20 cents. Food cost nothing then.
Oh, it's a different story now.
You could buy a good pair of shoes. Fine leather, too, for $3.75. Young people today don't even know what that means.
They don't even know when they're well off. The young are so ungrateful.
Today, everything's 1,000 times dearer. So how can we honestly say that the machine is a happy invention and that progress is a good thing?
Well, we can't, of course.
Now, you would probably say that progress can be good or bad, like Germans or film or soupy sales.
No, I wouldn't say a thing like that.
Why not? You could if you wanted to. You have the right.
Of course I have.
I respect everyone's right to an opinion. My ideas are up to date. After all, we've had a French Revolution, and the Crusades, and the Inquisition, and Kaiser Wilhelm, the popes, and the Renaissance, and King Louis XIV, and all of that for nothing. We've paid dearly enough for the right to say whatever comes into our heads without people making fun of us.
We certainly have. This land's our home. Oh, we won't have anyone coming in and upsetting us in our own place.
And Joan of Arc! Have you ever thought what she would say if she could see all of this?
Now, that's a question I've asked myself more than once.
Radio. And she used to live in an old cottage. Why, with all these modern transformations, I don't think she'd even recognize it.
Oh, no, she certainly wouldn't know to see it now.
And yet, perhaps she would after all.
Yes. Perhaps she would.
To think that she was burned alive by all those Englishmen, and then they became our allies.
Would have thought it.
Now, there are some good Englishmen, too.
Oh, but they're mostly bad.
Well, you didn't think that Corsicans are any better.
That's not what I meant.
I'll say one good thing for them, though. All French postmen are Corsican. Well, I mean, how would we get our mail if there were no postmen?
They're a necessary evil.
Evil is never necessary.
Oh, right you are. Now, that is very true.
Don't think I look down on a postman's profession.
Every profession has its points.
Madam, that is a profound statement. It deserves to be entered into our language as a problem. Allow me to congratulate you. Here is the Croix d'honneur.
Oh, monsieur, after all, if you really mean it.
Believe me, madam, I do. The truth may spring from any brain.
Flattered.
Madam, you have put your finger on the principal vice of this society which I disdain and condemn in its entirety, without wishing to cut myself off from it.
You must never do that.
Our society no longer respects a profession. Why, you need look no further than to see all the country people streaming into our sprawling towns.
Oh, yes, monsieur, I see.
When one loses respect for a profession, they lose respect for a child. And the child, madam, if you don't mind me expressing myself too strongly, is the father of the man.
Quite true.
And yet, perhaps, too, the child has forgotten how to win respect.
Perhaps.
But we should respect a child, for if there were no children, the human race would die out rather quickly.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Lost respect for one thing leads to lost respect for another. And pretty soon you don't respect your own word when you give it.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's all the more serious when one thinks of the word as divine, as in the word of God. We have no right to take it lightly.
I agree with you perfectly. That's exactly why I wanted to be sure my daughter had a sound education and a respectable profession so she could stand on her own 2 feet, earn an honorable living, and learn to respect others by starting with herself.
You have been very wise. What has she been doing?
Oh, she's come a long way with her studies. I've always longed for her to be a typist. So is she. She's just gotten her diploma. She's going to join a firm that deals in fraudulent transactions.
She must be very happy and proud.
Oh, she's dancing for joy from morning till night. She's worked so hard, poor little soul.
Now she gets the reward for all her labors.
It only remains for me now to find her a suitable husband.
She's a fine girl.
Well, now, here comes my daughter now. I'll introduce you to her.
Good morning, Mummy.
She's the spitting image of you, madame.
Go and say good morning to the gentleman.
Good morning, monsieur.
Good morning, my dear. She's really very well brought up. How old is she?
93.
Ah, she passed the majority then.
No, she owes us 80 years, so that makes her only 13.
Oh, they'll pass, you know, as quickly as the others. So, you are a minor then?
Yes, but don't forget, many a minor makes a major. Forgive me, madam, or should I say, madam. mademoiselle.
I beg your pardon. I'm afraid I don't happen to know you.
And I'm afraid I don't know you either.
Then, neither of us knows each other.
Exactly. We have something in common. Between us is the basis of understanding on which we can build the edifice of our future.
That leaves me cold, I'm afraid.
Oh, my darling, I adore you.
Darling, so do I!
I'm taking you with me, darling. We'll get married straight away.
But the leader swore he'd be passing here.
Are you absolutely sure about that?
Yes, yes, of course.
Was he really coming past here?
Yes, yes, he should have passed by here. It was marked on the festival program.
Did you actually see it and hear it with your own eyes and ears?
He told someone. Someone else.
But who? Who was this someone else?
Was it a reliable person? Friend of yours?
A friend of mine who I know very well.
Bravo!
There he is! Remember! Hide yourselves! Hide yourselves! The leader's coming! He approaches. He's bending. He's unbending. He's jumping. He's crossed the river. They're shaking his hand. He sticks out his thumb. Can you hear? They're laughing. They're giving him a box of tools. What's he going to do with them? Ah! He's signing autographs. Oh! The leader is stroking a hedgehog. A superb hedgehog. The crowd applauds. He's dancing with the hedgehog in his hand. Oh. He's embracing his dancer. Hurrah! He's being photographed with his dancer on one hand and the hedgehog on the other. He greets the crowd. He spits a tremendous distance.
Is he coming past here? Is he coming in this direction?
Are you absolutely sure we're on this route?
Quiet and don't move. You're spoiling everything.
I mean so.
Keep quiet, I tell you. Didn't I tell you he promised that he fixed his itinerary himself? Hurrah! Hurrah! Long live the leader! Long live the leader! He's mounting a stool. Oh, he's climbing piggyback. They're offering him a thin-ended wedge. He knows it's meant as a joke and he doesn't mind. He's laughing.
Will you hear? Oh, if I were king.
The leader. He's mounting a stool. No, he's getting down. A little girl offers him a bouquet of flowers. What's he gonna do? He takes the flowers. He embraces the little girl. Calls her my child.
He embraces the little girl. Calls her my child.
He embraces the little girl. Calls her my child. He gives her the hedgehog. The little girl's crying. Long live the leader! Long live the leader!
Is he coming past here?
Is he coming past here? Oh, he's going away! Hurry! Come on!
Hurrah!
Let's go to the market and get some eggs.
I love them as much as you do.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. 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 So sorry.
Sorry. Oh! Sorry. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Oh. So sorry, everyone.
Come along, Adolf. No harm done.
The leader's being pressed forward and pressed back. And now they're pressing his trousers. Oh, the leader's smiling. Oh, whilst they're pressing his trousers, he walks about. He tastes the flowers and the fruits growing in the stream. He's also tasting the roots of the trees. He suffers the little children to come unto him. He has confidence in everybody. He inaugurates the police force, pays tribute to justice. He salutes the great victors and the great vanquished. Finally, he recites a poem. The people are very moved.
Bravo! Bravo!
All the people are weeping.
You won't catch me! You won't catch me!
Wait a moment! Wait a moment!
You won't catch me!
Wait a moment!
We missed him.
Rob, look.
It was your fault.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, was it?
Are you suggesting it was mine?
No, we wouldn't say that.
No, we wouldn't say that.
Hurrah!
We came from over there!
Yes, it came from over there.
Very well! Follow me! Long live the leader!
Long live the leader!
I'll get you! Long live the leader! Oh, follow me! Follow the leader!
Long live the leader!
I'll get you!
You won't get me!
Long live the leader!
Long live the leader! The leader!
Long live the leader!
We'll get him!
It's
He'll
over
over there! You won't get me!
Long live the leader!
Long live the leader! Long live the leader!
The leader's arriving. Here's the leader. To your places. Attention!
My dear! My darling!
My dear! My darling!
Silence! The leader has eaten his soup. He's coming. He is nigh.
Hurrah! Hurrah!
Long live the leader!
But the leader doesn't have a head.
What's he need a head for when he's got genius?
That's true! What's your name? What's yours?
What's yours?
What's yours? What's yours?
What's